Greetings, my champions of the light, and welcome to Oathbound, the classic challenge where we must reach level 60 while only doing battle with worthy foes. And by worthy foes, I mean we can only do battle with orange level enemies, creatures at least 3 levels higher than ourselves. And all the while, we must maintain our sacred oath. We must ignore lesser creatures. We can only fight worthy foes. And as a paladin of the holy light, we must never bring dishonor to ourselves. We begin our journey today traveling northbound, high up into the snowy hills of Dunmarrow. And as the griffin finally takes me into the center of the Ironforge foundry, I come across a peculiar sight. Because, my friends, it appears that we are in the midst of a new event, the Midsummer Fire Festival. And this earth-entering elder over here, I have no idea what sort of race this creature is. No matter, he offers me a quest to go to the Twilight Camp south of Blackfathom Deeps and retrieve the Twilight correspondence from the cultists there. As a reward, I could receive 5 of these burning blossoms, and though I, at this time, do not know what they are for, I eagerly accept. The Lawmaster over here explains a bit more about the festival, and asks me to honor the Spirit of Fire. Now, the Spirit of Fire, we all know that fire shines bright, which means perhaps this is a most holy event indeed. I am offered another quest to simply throw some torches on these flaming pillars. For 11 silver coins, 5 of these blossoms, and most importantly, a healthy dose of experience points. The Master Fire Eater then gives me a second quest. I am to simply throw a torch in the air and attempt to catch it. And after receiving a face full of fire from the Fire Eater, he actually allows me to give it a second go. This time I have to throw the torches on 20 of these pillars. If I miss too many of my throws, well, let's just say I could fail the quest and burn down the whole of Ironforge. I dodge his fire breath again, and what do you know? The exact same reward. Can I do this again? This time is a little more difficult, not because I need to catch 10 in a row, but because there are other adventurers around doing the same thing, and it appears that I may have caused a few accidents. Anyway, I turn in the quest and am rewarded again with a lot of coin, more experience, and a lot of these fiery blossoms. Then I find a vendor, and it turns out you can purchase various items with the burning blossoms. The clothing seems interesting, and, well, let's just say, these midsummer snacks are certainly the most appealing to my eye. The toasted smokes would increase my healing power. The fire-toasted buns would increase my chance to hit, which is very useful against enemies multiple levels higher than me, as many of my attacks can miss. The elderberry pie would increase my defense rating by an amount equal to 4 levels. And the midsummer sausage, let's just say it would increase the damage of my holy attacks. Quite a few upgrades. I wonder if I can consume them all in one go. I guess we'll find out later. But all is not serious, and I partake in some fun and games, spinning around on this ribbon pole, doing a crazy dance. It turns out for every 3 seconds you spend doing this, you get 3 minutes of 10% more experience gain. Before we head out into the mountains of Dunmarrow, I take great pride in receiving almost 4 gold coins from the mailbox. And I stop by the local innkeeper to purchase some mutton chops. I've heard the dwarven mutton is the finest, as it comes from the rams native to these mountains, and makes a change from the moist cornbread. And there it is, my friends. I see a tent ahead. This must be part of the Midsummer Fire Festival. I find the little summer scorchling and I give it some wood. and it grows into quite a fearsome blaze. That was a little uncomfortable, if you ask me. Then I honor the flame with the local flame warden, receiving a pleasant boost of experience points. And I am tasked to return back to the city of Ironforge. And now it is finally time to venture to Loch Modan, as I need to make my way to the southern side of the Blackfathom Deeps for this quest to find the Twilight Correspondence. And what do you know, along the way I find another Flame Warden, and I receive another boost of experience, and yet more of these fire blossoms. I venture northbound up the road, towards the passageway that leads into the wetlands. I have to ignore some of these quests, as I already know they will be too low-leveled for a paladin like me. And to save myself a run, I take quite the gamble. You see, my friends, my Divine Protection spell says it will protect me from all physical attacks and spells for 8 seconds. And so I take a leap of faith, literally. But I am gladdened to see that my faith in the light was not misplaced, as I land safely without taking even 1 point of damage. I suppose throwing yourself off a cliff is considered an attack. An attack to myself, though, but nevertheless. I find some Leech Stalkers, orange-level enemies. They're kind of strong, but nothing against a paladin of the Holy Light, like me, who can dispel their leeching poisons. I even come across some King's Blood, and after being attacked by another spider, I decide it's finally time to test out these midsummer snacks. And what do you know, a tin vein. These tin will surely be worth quite a bit of coin. And is that a briarthorn? And I would venture into this cave system for the ores, but there are unworthy spiders within, yellow-level enemies that I cannot do battle with, and if I was cornered, I would be forced to allow myself to perish, which doesn't seem fair. And so, I leave behind the spider cave and continue my holy journey towards Menethil Harbor. These young Crocalisks, many of them are also level 21. I hope I can still find some quests here in the wetlands, suitable for a paladin of my stature. But eventually I finally see Menethil Harbor on the horizon. I do a little bit of dancing, and I am sure to honor the flame, as each time I do this I receive some nice experience and even some coin, as well as more of these burning blossoms. Who knows how useful they could be. I hand over a crate of crocodile skins while I am here, and pick up another quest for a dwarven woman called Cider, or Cedar, or Cider, or however you pronounce that. If I can find some orange-level oozes, I could certainly do that quest. But rather than hang around here, my friends, I decide to board the vessel to Kalimdor. And after a long journey across the Great Sea, I finally land in Darkshore and pick up a random quest to venture to Astrana. We are actually going that direction, but of course, before we continue, I'd best remember to honor the flame and do a little bit of dancing. Anyway, enough of that now. We need to make our way down through Darkshore. What do you know, a briarthorn? It's a swift thistle. And if you've been keeping up with this adventure, you know how much I love swift thistle, and exactly the reason why. I stop off at this little encampment here, and do a little bit of vendoring. And as I vendor, a strange fellow materializes. My brother in the light, Saint Scorp, had quite a bit of trouble with this fellow, but he taught me that there is always a way. Avoiding combat whenever possible. The pacifist way. The ambushes on the road, well, they never see Colonian and I, because we don't even follow the road. We make our way through the underbrush. And despite almost losing him, we finally make it to Ashenvale. Oh, you're sleepy again? Go right ahead, I'll just mine this ore here. We're almost there. I can see the building in the distance. Maestra's post is just ahead. We're so close, Colonian. Wait, what do you mean this is a perfect place to nap? Our destination is right there. What a foolish knife ear. Anyway, we turn in that quest and, well, I do receive some nice experience. And since we are so close to Astronaut now, we'd be a fool not to travel over there. As while here, we can grab the flight path, turn in this little quest here, and of course, my friends, we cannot forget to honor the flame, and do a little bit of midsummer dancing. Anyway, enough of that foolish behavior. We have a mission to do. I believe because midsummer is all about fire, and fire is quite bright. And you know what else is bright? The holy light. That means that perhaps this is truly a holy journey. And twilight, well, twilight is dark, and dark is the opposite of the light. And we are heading over to do battle with some twilight cultists. Of course, I should have seen it sooner. This is a most noble quest for a paladin like me. We make our way through the tranquil forests of Ashenvale, heading towards the western shore. And as we approach the ruins and the sandy shores, I finally come across the cultist den. And there are so many of them. And oh no, my friends, they all appear to be level 21 and level 20, unworthy foes. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I notice something. A level 22 cultist. 3 levels higher than me, and perhaps the only one. He is a named enemy. His name's Victor. He must be the boss in charge. And now we charge forward. My hammer of justice misses straight away, and it's clear that I have to retreat almost immediately. I even have to resort to using a healing potion just to survive. This quest seems completely impossible. Then I realize something. Most of these Twilight cultists are ranged casters. If I simply use the plur here to line of sight them, it may buy me enough time to defeat Victor and claim the Twilight correspondence. And despite having to use my divine shield and lay on hands, I am actually able to get away alive, having looted the Twilight correspondence. A glorious success. And not something that I could have attempted again for an entire hour. It was risky, but I've come too far to fail now. I activate the Midsummer Shaman's Totem, and this random wolf guy comes along and gives me a bunch of experience points, and then he asks me to transform myself into a crab, and I need to make my way over to spy on the Twilight cultists. As in crab form, they, for some reason, can't see me. An interesting quest for sure. Hey there, lady. Would you like to come on a date with me? Oh, never mind. And there, I see them. Bunch of people standing around. And as a crab, they don't even suspect a thing. And they reveal the entire plan. Truly, this disguise was a masterpiece. But it's clear that my work here is done. And having been told to simply return to a capital city, I decide to Hearthstone, and having once again reached the Ironforge city, I make my way back to the Hall of Explorers, and return to the Earthen Ring Elder. And after revealing the news, I am now level 20. A glorious success, and he gives me a quest, I'm not kidding you friends, to go all the way back to the exact same place I've been, and click on one of those blue pylons that I have seen earlier. I'm not sure why the mystical dog couldn't have told me that, and I don't want to go back there on a whim. Now that I am level 20, I should probably check out the paladin trainer, and he can teach me some very nice upgrades indeed. A new rank of devotion aura, a new spell called Flash of Light. He also trains me in consecration, which I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that against multiple orange level enemies, but he also teaches me the power to exorcism an undead or demon foe, using the full power of the light, a most holy ability indeed. Now my friends, we're at a crossroads here you see, and I have once again gained a talent point, and I have no idea where to put it. It's very confusing. I could put it in protection, I could put it in holy, but I could also pick talents in the retribution tree. Well, I am not just any paladin. I uniquely have to make do with battling creatures 3 and 4 levels higher than me. I need some advice on where I should put my talents next. And please consider subscribing, it would be a great help to me. Thank you again for watching, and always remember, light be with you.